Hi, today we will see how to activate and deactivate world regions according to the game's needs in Godot 4. When working with a huge world, it's useful to divide it into large regions that can be loaded or activated dynamically. They can contain tiles, terrain meshes, navigation paths, clip map textures, or whatever else you can think of. For simplicity, our regions will be made of small square areas containing one colored mesh, as shown here. Let's take a look at the full project. It contains the DiscoverableWorld, a node with its regions, a child node. Active regions or their placeholders will be added here. Since useful regions are usually those where the player's action takes place, they must be created or made visible when they are about to be framed by the camera, or when they are close to the player. In this demo, regions will always be present in the scene tree, and will only become visible when they are active. Therefore, in the attached code, all region instances are created and added during node initialization. The DiscoverableRegion class is responsible for changing the color of a mesh whenever its activation state changes. The color animation is performed using a tween. It can operate in two modes. Automatic discovery mode. When acting as a placeholder, it activates and deactivates itself using signals from its internal visible on-screen notifier 3D node. And passive mode, when it receives activation and deactivation commands from outside. In order to operate in auto-discovery mode, it's necessary for the region node to always be present in the scene tree, otherwise it couldn't be seen by the camera. It's not exactly what we would want for a huge world, but an almost empty region could still be considered lightweight. On the contrary, in passive mode, it is not essential for the region to already exist in the scene tree, as it could also be created at the time of activation and stored somewhere, like an LRU, least recently used, buffer. Returning to the main scene, we find the ExplorationArea node, which is used to show the perimeter of interest in the form of a convex polygon on the ground. All regions within this area should be activated. As we can see from the script, the polygon is calculated in real time from the camera frustum and displayed using an immediate mesh. Finally, the GUI controls divide the screen in half and contain the viewports of the two cameras. The first-person camera shows the player's point of view or captures it up close, so it is also suitable for activating regions. Its movement is controlled by a simple script, in which I've included two possible animations. Whereas the second camera is third person, and provides an overview of the world status around the player. You can check this by looking at the layers they are working on. The first person camera uses layer 1, whereas the third person camera only uses layer 2. The colored mesh of a discoverable region is visible on both, but a visible on-screen notifier 3D is only located on layer 1. So only the first-person camera can control auto-discovery notifications of the regions on layer 1. Let's try the automatic discovery mode. If I reduce the field of view of the first-person camera on the left side, the number of activated regions also decreases on the right side. It is very fast and accurate. Now, let's try passive mode. We just need to change one constant in the world script. The code defines the perimeter of interest as a convex polygon and uses the scanline fill algorithm to find the regions within it, without requiring a camera. But in our case, we're still using the same polygon seen previously, the one from the camera. My implementation of the scanline fill is very simple because it uses integer coordinates and is limited to convex polygons, but it seems to be doing its job. You can still replace it with something better. The only trick to getting a better result for now is to use a larger polygon. so that we can activate the regions before they enter the viewport. And now I create a more dynamic situation using the second camera animation. And that's all.